bienvenidos al canal. Yo soy Nayeli, sigo aquí en la FIL y estamos con una persona muy especial, Sally Green. Nice to meet you. Hola. Nos va a hacer el favor de contestar algunas pocas preguntas, así que vamos a comenzar. ¿En qué momento decidiste ser escritora?
Oh, right. Only recently, in June 2010, I had an idea for a story. I'd never written anything before. I used to be an accountant. But one afternoon I thought, oh, I've got some hours, I'll just maybe write 3 or 4 pages for fun. And I didn't finish, but the next day I did more, and the next day I did more. And then after 2 weeks, I thought, I'm writing quite a long story. And I carried on that summer and wrote my first novel. It's not published, but then I got hooked. I knew this is for me. I love it.
¿Cuál ha sido el momento más difícil de tu carrera como escritora?
Gosh. You know, everything's gone so well for me. I've been very lucky. But I think the hard things are, the hardest part is actually when you struggle to write. I try to be strong if people don't like my book. I know not everyone's going to like it. So you sort of, obviously you want everyone to like it, but that's never going to be the case. But I think the worst times are when I'm writing something and I just get stuck, and then you start to doubt and you start to think, maybe I can't do it anymore, maybe I've lost the ability. And I think that's the frightening thing. So when I'm writing a new series at the moment, and the beginning is always scary because you have a blank page and you have to fill it, and that's a horrible book.
¿Nos puedes contar un poco acerca de esta trilogía?
So my initial inspiration was, I think things come together to make the inspiration, but I knew I had an idea for writing about witches, and the reason for that was I had the idea that was this witchy power that's inside yourself. It's not with wands, there's no broomsticks, there's no school for witchcraft, but it's inside yourself, of this power, and it's linked to the earth somehow. So this mysterious thing. But I know very little about witches, but I also knew there's white witches and black witches, and white witches would be the good people and the bad witches the bad people. But then I thought, so that would be fun to, maybe that isn't the case after all. So maybe some of the white witches are actually really nasty, and some of the black witches are actually very nice. So it started from there, and as soon as I wrote from Nathan, is the hero of the book. Nathan is half black witch and half white witch, so the story is really his discovery of which side he belongs to. And as soon as I wrote in his head, within a few days I knew it was working. You know as a writer it's working, and it was working.
I want to approach a question of my own. Being British, writing about magic, you didn't have any concern about J.K. Rowling? I know this question must irritate you a lot. A lot of people ask you this, I know it. But
no, it's okay, I'll answer. So, I know this sounds strange because I'm writing, yes, about a witch in England in the present day. Witches are living secretly amongst us. It sounds just like Harry Potter, this young boy. But it never, I know it sounds strange. When I was writing it, I didn't occur to me because it's so much darker. Nathan is not at all like Harry Potter. He's a much darker character. And again, there's no broomsticks, there's no school, there's nothing like that. The only time I actually thought when I was about halfway through writing it, I had lots of characters in my book, and that was the only time I thought of Harry Potter, because I thought maybe I've got too many characters, and I thought of Harry Potter because I think J.K. Rowling, does fantastically lots of characters. They're all different, but you can see them all, even though you might only meet them for a short period of time in the story. And so that encouraged me, because I like that, I really like that, and I like having lots of characters as well.
¿En qué te inspiraste para crear el mundo de la trilogía?
Well, I wanted the witches, so I had this idea of this power, and the black witches and the white witches would be enemies. So that was quite straightforward. And I wanted as well the white witches, I had to show them to be different. So the black witches have more individual power. They are stronger as an individual witch. But the white witches are more cunning, they work together better, they're more organised, they have the hunters. So they have actually, in England, managed to drive out the black witches because they're more organised. So that was the world as I saw it. But they're also very prejudiced and very frightened. So one of the key white witches is Celia, and she's a hunter. I love her as a character, and she has killed black witches, but she's never actually spoken to one. So this is the world. They hate them, they see them as enemies, but they never actually know them as people.
¿Hay algún personaje que tenga características tuyas?
I think every writer, you have to use parts of yourself in each character. But I'm not like Nathan. I'm not. But I think there's part of me, and yes, Celia, this white witch, I see there's part of me like her. I don't keep people in cages, but I can see she's very, she feels very disciplined. She's proud to be a white witch, and she's follows orders and that sort of thing. But Nathan is the wilder side of me, I suppose, and he's the rebel and wants to run free. So I think we all have different aspects in ourselves of these people. But as a writer, my job is to find them all out. But a lot of it is my own experience, but also the fun is I imagine different things. Yeah.
What can you tell us? I know maybe you have like a confidentiality agreement, but what can you tell us about what are you writing now?
Okay. So I finished this series, and I'm now writing a new fantasy series. It's for teenagers again, and hopefully adults will read it. Adults read these books, so I hope it will appeal to the same people. I can't really say much about it, but it is a complete fantasy, so it's not set in the real world. I'm creating a complete fantasy world with a map, so if it has a map, it's my map, I'm making it up.
You made the borders.
There's no witches, but there are some other elements that are not necessarily human in that.
¿Cuáles son tus escritores favoritos?
I always find this difficult because I like a lot of English writers you might not have heard of, but for me, my favourite piece of writing is a Hemingway short story. I love his style. I actually think it's beautiful. His short stories, I think, are fantastic, more than his novels. But so for me, I would always enjoy to reread his stories. I don't reread many, so that's quite unusual for me. But there's many, famous writers, but I don't have any one favourite author. I must always read him or her.
Sally Green.
No.
¿Estás disfrutando la comida mexicana?
Okay. I've had some great food. I've had the best margarita as well. Really good margarita. But the food is excellent, but I quite like spicy food because in England we have quite a lot of curries from India, and so I'm quite used to spiciness, so I like the spicy, yeah.
Ya para finalizar, ¿cuáles son tus redes sociales para que tus fans, seguidores te sigan?
I don't need Facebook. Twitter is...
Lo ponemos aquí abajo para que si no la siguen, la sigan, si lo están esperando. Y pues ya para finalizar, muchísimas gracias Ali, de verdad, si no han leído estos libros, yo no sé qué están esperando, lo confieso, yo no los había leído, pero me encantaron. De verdad es una gran recomendación, si no lo han hecho, háganlo, no sé qué están esperando. Pues nosotros seguimos aquí en la FIL, muchísimas gracias, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Y nos vemos en el siguiente video, gracias.